we get Deadpool 2016. I'll briefly go through the plot synopsis here.
Please. Yes, please.
So yeah, we start off with Deadpool. He's already in his superhero form. He's trying to get revenge on some people. We learn his backstory. He was a hitman for hire. He hangs out at a local hitman bar where they have a dead pool trying to figure out who will die next.
Do we get demonetized if we mention the other actor that was with him in that shot?
Yeah, probably.
He's nowhere to be found in the third movie.
Rest in peace, Weasel.
Yes.
He falls in love with a stripper, Vanessa, right? Was that her name?
It's Vanessa, yeah.
Played by Morena Baccarin. I should just
the chick from Serenity or Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly.
That's my girl. Yeah.
And Gotham. She was also in Gotham.
I'm not familiar.
So yeah, he falls in love with her. They want to have a whole life together, but then he gets cancer. Oh no. He's real sad. He tries to break up with her. We flash forward. He apparently does not get along with the X-Men because they're trying to stop him on his revenge mission. But what is his revenge mission? Well, it turns out the guy from Galaxy Quest, of all people, gets
budget Agent Smith, right?
Yes, gets him to sign up for a superhero program. But really, it's this guy Francis, whose character trait is that he wants people to say his bad guy name.
Which is is it Ajax? Is that the name?
Ajax, I think.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Him and that girl, everyone pretended could act for like 10 years. They are actually just giving people mutant powers so they can use them as weapons. And it fucks them up, makes them look all weird. He wants to get revenge. He's got to save the girl, and he teams up with comic accurate Colossus after 3 films where he basically did nothing. And Negasonic Teenage Warhead has nothing to do with the comics. They just like the name. And they have a fun time together. Now, Adam, how do you feel about this one?
I love this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all 3 of them actually, but the first one might still be my favorite because I think it has the best storyline, even though it's an origin film and even though we've seen a lot of it before. Just the way that it's like framed and the way that Deadpool uses the fourth wall breaking and the jokes are hilarious and it was fresh and new and kind of, reinvigorated the comic book scene that was already starting to get a bit stale when Deadpool came out. I love this. I revisit this movie once every so often. I think I just rewatched it with my son Connor, who's 12 now, so he feels like he's really he's seen some R-rated shit now. He's fully in. So we had a great time watching both this one and all 3 of them actually. So the third one theater. So I really like this film.
Did you see this in theaters? Did you have a good theater experience, Adam? Did you?
Should I say I have a horrible one and then go on a 20-minute rant like you're probably
No, I will tell you my theater experience.
Mine was great.
We got to see this early. And it was, remember how I said I just don't like Deadpool fans?
Yeah.
I saw it in a theater full of Deadpool fans, but the ones that laugh at like the most basic of jokes. And I think there was a guy who wrote one of the comics that was in there, not like a creator or anything. So I guess people wanted to impress him, even though he had nothing to do with the movie. So Adam, you know how there's like a joke every 5 seconds?
Yeah.
This theater laughed at every single one of those jokes. Every single one of those jokes. And hard. They laughed hard. I missed jokes.
I was going to say, did they laugh over other jokes? Perfect.
Yeah, they laughed over really good jokes. So I had the most miserable experience watching this. Someone who doesn't really like the character too much at the time and thinks the fans were annoying. And I was totally justified that night. I'm like, I hate all of you. This movie fucking sucks. I can't stand this. I never want to watch this piece of shit again. People were telling me they loved the movie. Like, that movie sucked. I never want to experience that again. That was a miserable experience. And then, like, when Deadpool 2 was coming out, I was like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. And then, like, my ex at the time had the Blu-ray. I'm like, well, let me, like, catch up. Let me pop it in. And then I watched it. And much like I have a similar story with Shin Godzilla, I watched it by myself at home, quiet, and I went, oh, wait. That was actually kind of funny. Oh, wait, that joke landed. Oh, that's what I'm like, wait, I think I kind of like this movie. I'm like, oh my God, it was a total 180 from the worst theater experience ever.
It's so sad and amazing how like a bad movie theater audience can just completely cripple the experience. I've had so many like that where you're just focused half on the audience and what they're going to do to piss you off next before, like
Yeah,
preemptively before they do it, that you're
yeah.
just not even invested in the film anymore. That sucks. So have you gone back since and
Yeah,
rewatched?
I've gone back a couple times since then. I
Okay.
actually really enjoy it. Now, I think I like the movies more than the comics because the comics,
Yeah.
I mean, they're Marvel. They know kids are kind of reading them, so they can't go like
Mhm.
as edgy. Like they get violent, but I don't know. At least the ones I read weren't mentioning dicks as much as the
Sure.
movies do,
Sure.
or pegging, or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure I just got kicked off Twitch for even
There
saying
it
that.
is. Yep. There it is.
Um, Not every joke lands in the movie though. There's stuff like I have an
Mhm.
example here. Hold on. Like this is kind of funny. Him making fun of Green Lantern,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
He
then he
does a
does it.
couple of times in it.
Yeah, he does it again
Yeah.
later on. It's like
Yeah.
okay, no, he got it. He got it the first time. This is kind of funny
Yeah.
when they cut to his action figure from X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then he goes, "I'll sew your mouth up." And he's like, "Don't do that." I'm like, "No, I got it. I got it earlier. We don't have to keep bringing it up." Um, and of course, this was a joke I did like when he called her Ripley from Alien 3. And I'm like, all right, that
Ripley
one
from Alien
fucking
3.
got me.
That's great. Yeah. The
But no,
most celebrated of all the Alien films were
of
Alien 3.
course, of course.
Yes, everybody's favorite.
But yeah, there's moments where like a joke that lands for me is where he tells Blind Al, the old woman that he lives with.
Yeah.
He's like, I left a bunch of cocaine next to the cure for blindness.
It's so good.
And I think he goes back later and he finds the cure for blindness. I'm like, all right, that's really funny.
Hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I love the baby hands when he gets his hands chopped off, and then he gets his legs chopped off later, and he's got like he's
that's
like a
in the
baby.
second one, but yeah,
Oh, it's in
yeah,
the
yeah,
second one where he's Daffy
yeah,
Ducking it. That's great.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. The first one, it is a fun time, and I love that. I do like the meta self-awareness thing. Now,
Hmm.
people get hung up on like where this fits continuity wise, as if
No,
the
no.
X-Men movies after 3 had good continuity. Yeah,
I don't even think the third one had continuity with the second one. I'm
it
rewatching
did.
those movies right now. No, the whole like Jean Grey as a child having the Dark Phoenix inside of her, I think that was kind of retconned from the second movie because in the second one, she's just starting to get those powers
And
now.
they imply that maybe the machine from the first movie is what unlocked that power. But I mean, it's
Mhm,
not like
mhm.
they didn't completely start fucking up
It's
like the years.
bullshit.
But no, when I see these movies, I'm like, because people right now, even we'll get to the third one, they're trying to figure out like
Yeah.
continuity and stuff. I'm like, guys, this is like trying to figure out like the logistics of like the Naked Gun. Like these are
Mhm.
this is a
I
superhero.
think, yeah, I
Power.
referenced the Naked Gun in the new
Yeah,
Deadpool and Wolverine because I said
yeah,
the plot is trash, and people are like, "How dare you?
yeah,
You hate the new movie?" Like, no, I love the new movie, but the plot's bad.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
okay.
there are
That's
some.
okay.
Yeah, there are some sincere moments in this that I think are a good break from the action and the
Yeah,
comedy with him and
yeah.
Vanessa.
I think
But
that's
yeah,
why I like this one the most is because there's a bit more going on than
mhm.
just the nonstop humor. There is actually some good heart. There's a good love story. All that stuff works.
No,
Is this the one that has all the jokes about there never being any X-Men at the mansion? Because I always thought that
uh,
was great too.
they both movies have that.
Both
I
movies.
know what
Okay.
one you're thinking in the second one, but this one, when he meets her, actually, it's literally this scene. He goes like, "Oh, it's funny. I keep only running into you two." And as he's walking away, he's like, "Yeah, it's almost like the studio didn't want to pay for more
Exa-
X."
Exactly. Wow, it's a
So
really big school. It's crazy how
yeah.
you're the only person I keep running into. Yeah, that's good
I
stuff.
do like when the Blackbird takes off. It's just reused footage from X-Men 3. Like they
Is it
didn't even,
really?
yeah,
No. Oh my
yeah,
god, that's awesome. I didn't
yeah.
catch that.
So yeah, they're kind of like Naked Gun, sort of Family
Yeah.
Guy, wacky stuff. I'm not worried about like the plot or where this fits in the universe. At this point, every X-Men movie is in its own universe because it
Yeah.
doesn't work as one cohesive thing. But yeah, it's a good time. The action's really, really solid. They have a lot of fun with his regeneration. His interactions with the X-Men are fun. It was fun seeing a comic accurate Colossus. He never goes into human form, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you thought about the whole CG Colossus compared to
Yeah.
the one from the second X-Men movie, and I think it's funny. It's the same actor from
Yeah.
X2 and X3, but for some reason the X3 one was on Atkins or something because he looks way different. He got like
And
thinner.
he comes back for Days of Future Past also.
Yeah.
They never really gave him a lot to do. Like he barely
No.
talked. He didn't have his Russian accent. I mean, he looked cool. He looked the part. I don't mind
In
the
the
character.
second one, I thought he looked cool
Yeah.
when he first like.
Oh, the third one he looked really bad. He looked fine in
Yeah, he
Days
didn't
of
look
Future
at.
Past.
Yeah.
But no, this one I like that they were like, no one really cares about the continuity anymore. I mean, X-Men
Mhm.
Origins to First Class, that breaks so much continuity.
So bad.
So they're
Yeah.
like, let's just have our own Colossus, who's like the big
Mhm.
CGI guy.
And they do that again with Juggernaut in the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I appreciated that. Yeah, it's a movie that really, really grew on me. I still don't think it lands all the way. Not all the jokes land for me. I think that's maybe the reason I don't rewatch it more. Where I'm like, yeah, I like that part, I like that part, but I don't want to sit through that whole sequence again. But yeah, it was very fun. There were some references there. Hydra Bob is in it, but they weren't allowed to call him Hydra Bob. Apparently, Deadpool has a friend that they were like mercenaries in the past called Hydra Bob, and they bump into each other. So that's that scene in Deadpool where one of the mercenaries is like a friend of his. It's a reference to that character.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just thought that was a funny thing. I'm like, oh, they worked him into the movie. I didn't think he would actually make it into the film. But like I said,
That's for all the hardcore Deadpool comic book fan out there. You can catch that.
yeah. Also, it was kind of funny that they were fighting on the helicarrier from Avengers, but they weren't allowed to draw attention to it. I thought that was bizarre.
That's interesting.
But yeah, Deadpool 1, bad theater experience, but overall it's okay. You have any last words on Deadpool 1?
No, I think I mean I enjoy it on pretty much every level. I love the music that they infused in it. The
Hmm.
Never Gonna Dance Again.
Yeah.
What's that song called? Quiet Whisper? Is that the that might be the Seether remake version of the song, which is actually
Yeah.
fantastic. If you've ever heard Careless Whisper by
Yeah,
Seether.
they
Really
have
good,
that
really good version.
Angel of the Morning song in the beginning. I like
Yeah,
the X gonna give it to you is pretty good.
of course, the
Yeah,
DMX, like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's so good. And then you would see Suicide Squad try to rip off the style and fail completely, like just
Oh
infusing
god,
eight
yeah. Okay, yeah.
different pop songs into the beginning.
Suicide Squad
They,
2016. Yeah.
yeah, they gave Boomerang or Captain Boomerang a unicorn like flies out of his jacket at
Yeah.
one point. It's like, what does this
Makes
have to do
no
with
sense.
anything?
It makes no sense.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
this really kind of upped the ante, I thought,
it did.
and it was an R-rated comedy, which
Mhm.
I was talking to someone else recently on another stream, and like maybe it was you. It was probably you. I was talking to some other person. You're like, "What's the last good R-rated comedy?" And I thought, well, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's an R-rated comedy. That's the one because you don't really associate them with comedy straight up. It's
Yeah.
a superhero comic book action movie, but no,
Yeah.
it's comic book. It's a comedy first and foremost.
Yeah, and I think it's good. Yeah, then a few years later, by the way, yeah, it took off. Like this movie did super well, better than they thought it would. And
Yeah.
I remember they put out like X-Men Apocalypse teasers with Deadpool like narrating to get people excited for that movie because it was like the
Oh my
next one
god. Yeah.
coming out. And I was like, well, if Deadpool says it's good.
Well, and they had these movies have always had fantastic marketing campaigns too. I think the first one was when they did all the DVDs for Fox. Deadpool
Oh no,
was
no, no,
on
no,
the
no.
covers.
That was the second one because I own Logan on Blu-ray with the Deadpool cover.
That was the second one. They did the
Yeah.
DVD covers. That
Yeah.
was so freaking good. Okay,
That was fun.
maybe they didn't go as crazy with the first movie because they were testing the waters, but the second one, the marketing was peak.
I think they put the first one out on Valentine's Day. They were really pushing it as a Valentine's Day
That's
movie.
right.